Hey guys, thank you for watching. This is the RGT Challenger. So on this car the steering angle isn't great. So today I will show you how you can improve the steering angle by doing some simple things. Stay tuned. So guys, one of the first mods we are going to do, we are going to improve the steering angle. Because factory off, in my opinion, the steering angle can be improved and I will show you why. So let's turn the wheels completely. As you can see over here, you're having a gap between the axle and the steering arm. So I can move my screwdriver between there. So we are going to improve the steering angle so it is just barely touching, and that will give us a couple of degrees more, which is improving the handling on the track. So to give the car more steering angle, that looks like a pretty simple job. Normally you can adjust the endpoints on your transmitter so you can gain a little bit more travel of your servo. In this case it is already at maximum, so we cannot gain any more travel. Another thing we can do is just by replacing the servo horn for a slightly longer one, and that is what we are going to do today. But if we are going to do that, it will give us a problem, and let me show you what that is. So when you look at the car and we turn the wheels at full and the suspension travel is at this maximum position, the wheels are hitting the inner fender and the body right over here. So when we are going to improve the steering angle, the hitting will be even worse, and yeah, you can hear the body rub and the car won't drive as smoothly as you would like to see it. So to prevent the rubbing of the tires inside the body and the wheel arch, we are going to extend all the linkage arms. We are just going to extend them a tiny bit, so the whole front axle will be moved forwards a tiny bit, so the wheels are not hitting the body anymore. So first of all, let's remove the wheels. So the next thing to do is to remove the servo horn. When you use a very tiny screwdriver, a hex driver, you can just barely get it in there and just remove the screw without taking everything apart. So when we take a look at the two servo horns, you can see that the one at the right is just a slightly longer one than the standard one, and that will give us a bit more travel. So we are going to install the new one. So the new servo horn is installed. The next thing to do is to remove one screw of each linkage arm so we can adjust the length. So all four linkages are removed from the axle. Now we are going to extend them. What is very important is that you keep track of the length of the arms themselves. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give each arm on each side 2 complete turns. So 2 turns on this side, 2 turns on that side, and with all 4 of them, so the length will be equal to each other. To loosen them, I recommend to use a spanner just to hold the plastic part over here. Otherwise, if you're going to turn this while it is mounted to the body or to the chassis, you could damage the plastic part. So I'm just going to use a spanner to hold it in place and then just put a screwdriver through the hole, and then we are able to turn the axle. So just remember to keep track of the turns you are making. So 1 turn, 2 turns, and now we are going to do the same thing but on the top side. So 1, 2. Now you can see it is just the length is improved by let's say a millimeter or something. So let's do all 4 of them. So all 4 arms are done. Now it's time to put everything back together. So when I was mounting all the 4 arms, I noticed that the servo horn and the steering arm were hitting this plastic piece over here. So what I did, I just shortened the upper links again. So on the front side these are all the way in, and this is just the 2 turns out that I mentioned before. And this will give you the clearance that we will need to get all the travel of the suspension. So the last thing to do is to remove some material of the steering hub. So let me show you what you should do. If you look over here, you've got some screws that are holding the bearing inside this piece over here. But when you are improving the steering angle, those screws will hit against this side. So we are just going to remove a tiny bit of material over here with the Dremel so it can travel all the way. So all done with the Dremel. I will show you some pictures of before and after I started with the Dremel. So before we put the tires back on, I just want to mention that I have changed the length of the rods themselves. The bottom ones I have increased the length by 1 turn, and the top ones I have just put it back as it was factory off. So all the way in. That's because I was trying the tire onto the hub and it was still rubbing inside the arch over here a tiny bit, but now it's all solved. So let me put the tire back on to show you the end result and the travel we have gained by doing this. So before I show you the travel we have gained, just make sure that your travel amount is not too much so it can damage your servo or the linkages. Just turn this knob, let's say, to 50%, then turn all the way in and then increase it a tiny bit until it is hitting, it is maxed out, it is hitting the axle. So something like this. Test the other side also, and that's around perfect. Okay, so now let's see what travel we have gained. So when we turn it, you can see that this wheel is beyond this point, and when we started it, it was something like this. So we have gained a couple of degrees extra steering angle. I think it is not 45 degrees, I think it is a bit shy of that, but yeah, it's pretty near 45 degrees, which is very nice, and you will have a lot of advantages on the track. Alright guys, that was it for today. Please subscribe to my channel. If you've got any questions or suggestions, please leave a comment below. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye bye.